A very good afternoon, everybody. Today is our third season starting today. In the morning, we had one slot of presentations. Now we have gathered for the afternoon slot of our presentations. Today, semester 3 students are making presentations on Indian English literature published in a pre-independent era. Let us have a look at the topics on which we will have a presentation in this slot. We'll start with Nikita's presentation. And she will be making it on Sita's voice in the anglophone imagination, Toru Dutt's Lakshman. Nirali's will be on Rabindranath Tagore, poet, composer, and visionary. Sagar on Rabindranath Tagore as a philosopher. Nistha on from Vande Mataram to vocal for local. This vocal for local you can put in single inverted comma. Nationalism in Tagore's The Home and the World and Contemporary India. Mansi on Beyond Borders, Rabindranath Tagore's vision of nation and humanity. Smriti on The Impossible Women, feminine allegory and female agency in Indian nationalism. Srushti on Home, World and the Women, unraveling Tagore's modern dilemma. Tanvi on nationalism, cosmopolitanism and gender, a political reading of Tagore's The Home and the World. Devangini on nationalism, gender and the ethics of choice in The Home and the World. Rajdeep on myth, memory and nation. Tagore and Yeats on nationalism and identity. Krishna on caste and cosmic injustice in The Curse or Karna, a socio-philosophical reading. Mita on the Indian epic on modern stage, T.P. Kailasam's experiment in drama. Satakshi on exploring crime, culture and karma, justice in Narayan's short stories. I think you have to put a colon. Exploring crime, culture and karma, colon, justice in Narayan's short stories. Shruti on crime and punishment in educational context, power, complicity, and the failure of parental involvement. And the last one will be by Rosmin on subaltern voices on screen, representation and resistance in cinema. Okay, so let us start with the first one. Nikita, you can start the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is our first presentation on paper 201 Indian English Literature Pre-Independence, and today is my presentation topic about the Sita's voice in the anglophone imagination Toru Dutt's Lakshman. Lights. Okay. This is my personal information, table of contents. These are research questions and hypotheses. First, we see introduction. Toru Dutt lived in a very short life, but she made a deep mark on Indian English literature. I think she lived 21 years. In her collection, Asian Ballads and Legend of Hindustan, she retells Indian epic in English poetry, like Sita, Savitri, and Lakshman. And in the poem, Lakshman focuses on the moment when Sita insists that Lakshman should leave her and search for Ram. This episode is significant because it allows Sita's voice to emerge more strongly than in the Sanskrit epic. So, first we see meaning of anglophone. What is the definition of anglophone? Having anglophone, having English as the main language. We all know Toru Dutt know is more language, but she has written in English. For example, the city's Anglophone population and can also mean a person. Anglophones are people who speak English as their main language. In this topic, we see Lakshman, Anglophone imagination, how English speaking writers and readers imagine Indian stories. Another thing is Sita in Lakshman. So when we learned about the Lakshman poetry, in that time we talk about the main thing is Lakshman. Focus is only Lakshman character. But here I have taken this Sita's character. How her voice taken by Toru Dutt. Sita is not silent or passive. Speaks with authority and emotion. Express love for Ram and fear for his safety. Shows suspicious when Lakshman hesitates. Humanized here, Toru Dutt also Sita's character is a humanized, not only an ideal wife but a woman with a vulnerability. Toru Dutt given Sita's a powerful human voice in English poetry. So we see here thematic overview. First we see Sita's voice. Dutt gives Sita's voice, allowing her to express emotions, fear, and inner thoughts. Feminine agency. The poem portrayed Sita as autonomous, resilient, and emotionally strong, challenging the struggle's passive depictions. Another thing is a colonial perspective. How we see the Anglophone medium blend Indian myth with a Victorian literary style, situating Sita's perspective in a cross-culture context. Another thing is colonial context and Anglophone literature. In English become a medium for Indian poets during colonial Indian. At that time, Indian poets have written in English. Writing in English allowed Indian culture and literature to reach global readers. The period shaped literary convention, Victorian poetic forms, and influenced Indian English poetry. Toru Dutt's work reflect this historical and literary backdrop, situating Lakshman within a colonial literary framework. So first we see in critical perspective how we see Lakshman, Toru Dutt's Lakshman. Toru Dutt, an enigmatic figure. First we see enigmatic figure means blending personal insight with literary creativity. Negotiate between Indian narrative tradition and European poetic form. Lakshman fusion of Indian epic story plus Victorian English style highlights a female perspective within classical Indian epics. Balances emotional depth with formal poetic structure. So Indian sensibility defines authenticity of Indian English poetry. Indian poets can express cultural identity and real experience in English. How Toru Dutt add her expression in Sita's character, showing cultural identity. And Lakshman, Sita's portrayal reflect Indian sensibility and value. Demonstrates how traditional Indian themes are communicated to global audience. In this, we see Sita's character in Ramayana. So, how Toru Dutt tries to reach global audience. reinforces a woman's voice and emotional agency in poetry. So, in conclusion, overall, the poem highlights woman's voice, cultural translations, and colonial era creativity, securing Toru Dutt's place as a key figure in Indian English poetry. So, these are references, and thank you. If anyone have a question, please ask me.
So, Nikita, my question is for you that how does Toru Dutt's Lakshman negotiate the tension between tradition and modernity?
So it fuses Indian epic value with English poetic form, uh, balancing cultural authenticity and global literary style.
Nikita, my question that why is Toru Dutt called a pioneer of the Indian English literature?
Because she was among the first used English to retelling Indian epic, blending Indian sensibility with global literary form. So, thank you. This is from my side.